Did you miss out on my Instagram paint party? Well, no worries, as you've officially got the VIP replay. I've edited all the waiting around so we can jump straight into painting this pomegranate still life. I'm Dr. Shazia, your paint buddy, and if you love secret art tips, fun painting demos, and brutally honest art supply reviews, then stop scrolling and keep watching Conversations with Canvas. For today's paint party, I'm going to be painting this pomegranate. Now, the materials that I'm using for this session are my A5 sketchbook, and I'm using gouache paints that I've transferred into my travel palette. Also, I'm going to be using the water pen brushes, a flat brush for the background, and a mist bottle to keep the paints wet. Let's get this party going now with a simplified sketch. I'm going to be sketching with diluted gouache paint. Now, I just prefer to sketch the likeliness of the subject and not go into a lot of details. You can go ahead and sketch as detailed as you want or as loosely you would prefer to. Also, this is just a guideline or a map to where I'm going to place my paint later on or my colors later on. It is not a final sketch, and I don't go on painting in between lines. There is a lot of painting in and out of these lines, and that I keep doing, so the result is definitely going to be much looser. And also, it will be a color shift is also going to be happening when I start painting. Now, you could go ahead and paint it exactly like the way you see it in the sketch, or sorry, in the reference, but I want to go ahead and try out a color scheme, so that's where I'm going to be taking it. And this is going to be like a starting point for me, and then I'll be just playing along. With the drawing outline in place, now I'm going to play with colors. I like to start with blocking in the background and the shadow area. So instead of going now with the same colors that are there in the reference, I'm going to be using a complementary color scheme. As the pomegranate is, you can see more of the oranges and the reds, which is mostly a warm color. I'm going to be going in for the background and the shadow with cool muted blues. Now, what this will do is it will create a color and a temperature contrast between the background as well as the pomegranate. Now, you could paint it with exactly the same colors as you see in the reference, or you could also try out a different color, like maybe a blue which has more green in it. It's entirely up to you. Or you could also try out an analogous color scheme, that is, use colors which are on the same side of the color wheel, okay, or next to each other. I'm softening the shadow edges to give it a more realistic look and maybe look like the shadow is just fading away into the background, and it should not look like a cutout, so that's why I'm softening these edges. Now I might later on come and add in more color variations into the background, but for now this will do, and I'll move my attention now over to the pomegranate colors. For the pomegranate skin, I'm going to be mixing a warmer orange red. Now, this is going to create a temperature contrast between the reds of the pomegranate skin and the reds of the pomegranate seeds. For the lit areas of the skin, I have mixed in an orangish red with a touch of white, whereas for the shadow areas, I'm going in with a brownish red. So, for that, I've just mixed in my orange mix, a little bit of blue to get it, look more like a brown. I'm also keeping the brushwork pretty loose, and I'm not blending each and every value into the other so that the difference can be quite visible, and that this is the darker area and this is the lighter area. This just adds another contrast into the painting. For the seed areas, I'm just blocking in with a cool dark red. Now to mix this red, I have just added, magenta as well, or you could use alizarin crimson and add in a touch of blue into it. This just darkens the area and also cools it a bit more. Now what I have done is just blocked in the areas. I'm not painting each and every seed separately. Now this will, just keep it again a little bit loose and not get me all tightened up with painting each and every seed. Well, you could do, if you like it going into the realism side, you could go ahead and paint each and every seed and even sketch it out as detailed as you want it to be. Before going into all the details of the seeds or adding, the finer details into the seeds, I'm just adding in the lighter parts of the skin. This will just help me, to compare the value contrast, the color contrast, and the temperature contrast between the seeds, the skin, and the lighter white part of the skin. So this is just, so that all the areas are blocked in, and then I can fine tune it, sit down, relax back, and just fine tune each and every part later on. Along with composition and design, one element that I really stress on while I'm painting is contrast. So I basically look in my paintings as I critically analyze it, the three types of contrast, and if they are present in my painting, I am quite satisfied with it. If they are not, I tend to work on it a little bit more. So the three contrasts that I look for when I'm painting is, firstly, I check for a color contrast. A color contrast is basically whether I'm using complementary color schemes, or kind of a triadic color scheme. So is there a color contrast? So here I've used the complementary color scheme, that there is a blue background with the orange red pomegranate. So it gives a nice contrast. It really makes the pomegranate pop out. The second contrast that I really stress about is the value contrast. The value contrast is basically the lights and the darks. Are they clearly visible in my painting? So I just need to squint or use a black and white filter and check whether the value contrast is in place. So once that is done, I'm quite happy with that. And the third contrast is the temperature contrast. The temperature contrast is whether there's enough of cools and warms in my paintings. So yes, I do have the cool reds on the seeds, and I have the warm reds on the skin. Also, the pomegranate itself is relatively a warmer thing, or a warmer object, or a warmer subject than the background, which is blue, which is a cooler subject, cooler color. So that's the three contrasts which I check in. And then once I'm satisfied with that, I go in and add in details, do the little bit corrections in the shape and the form. The colors are all blocked in, and now what I'm doing is just refining, analyzing if any changes need to be made, if any form needs to be corrected, if any color needs to be added. And that's what this step is all about. I call it the refinement and the correction stage. This is the time when we need to step back and look at it critically, find the wrongs in it and make the corrections, add in the details, and keep this process going on till you're actually happy with what you've created. Now, at this stage, don't ask others how the painting is looking, or ask them to criticize it, or look at it critically, because this will mess with your view. And that's a wrap up of the replay of my Instagram live paint party. Now, if you enjoyed watching this, do check out my previous paint party where I painted my favorite paintbrush. And if you love to have great artsy conversations and do a little bit of chit chat with me, do join the live show on Instagram. Until then, take care, keep creating, and I'll see you soon for more art magic on Conversations with Canvas. Bye.